Winston-Salem is called the Easter City. The name doesn't come from the hustle and bustle associated with shopping for Easter clothing, nor from the custom of dyeing eggs for the Easter bunny's arrival. Winston-Salem is called the Easter City because of an annual event which has taken place in Salem for over 200 years, the Moravian Easter Sunrise Service. The sunrise service as we know it has changed little from the original service which took place in Herrnhut, Saxony in 1732. On Easter Sunday, a small group of young men gathered in God's acre to sing hymns and to meditate upon the fact of Christ's death and resurrection. As they sang and prayed, the rising sun drove the darkness away from the hills and valleys and made the resurrection more meaningful than ever before. When the Moravians came to Salem, they included the sunrise service in their Easter worship beginning in 1773. The crowds began to gather early at Home Moravian Church, called by the music of Easter chorales played by Moravian bands throughout the city. The bands assemble about 2 a.m. on Easter and play Sleepers Awake to remind listeners of the resurrection and to awaken people for the sunrise service. When the bands have made their rounds throughout the city and it's still dark, the members gather for a hearty breakfast of ham, eggs, biscuits, sugar cake, and coffee. The Moravian Band holds a prominent place in the church and is especially helpful for congregational singing in outdoor services. When B.J. Fole became a member of the band in 1880, the band consisted of 16 musicians. He recalled playing that year in the moonlight and the mud. In 1890, he became director of the band, a position he held for 55 years. Over the years, the band has grown in size and often consists of several generations from the same family. When the band is refreshed and warm from the breakfast, they assemble near Home Moravian Church as the congregation gathers for the service. After the liturgy is delivered, one band group leads the congregation to God's acre. The site for the graveyard was selected in 1766, and the avenues bordering it, called Cedar Avenue, were laid out in 1770. John Burkhead, one of the 8 men who first came to the settlement, was the first person buried there in 1771. A significant feature of God's acre is the Recumbent Stones, which symbolize the Moravian belief in the democracy of death and which make it impossible to distinguish between the graves of rich and poor. Members are buried according to choirs or stations in life, such as married men, married women, single men, single women, rather than by families. In the days before Easter, the stones are cleaned so the epitaphs will show, and fresh flowers adorn each grave, bringing color to the white stones nestled in the green grass. Flowers from local gardens are gathered or purchased from the city market. Residents and visitors are drawn to Salem to take part in the annual pilgrimage. When the congregation and bands are assembled in God's acre, the service continues with the liturgy and more hymns as the sun gradually brightens the sky and the worshipers soon disperse. The Right Reverend Edwin Ronthaler, Bishop of the Moravian Church in the South, led the sunrise services for over 50 years. His voice carried strong and clear across the crowds, and neighbors could listen to the service from their homes. For those who did not listen close and could not come to the service, WSJS Radio began their broadcast of services in 1930, the same year the radio station was founded. Doug Lee was instrumental in starting the radio station and also prepared the wiring to broadcast the service. Residents and visitors return to the Moravian Easter Sunrise Service year after year because they knew it will be simple and beautiful and worshipful. It was so 200 years ago, and it is so today in the Easter City.